Have you ever heard a good storyteller tell a story? Have you ever noticed that they tell the story as if they're telling it exactly to you? As if they're speaking just to you? Have you ever felt when you listen to the story like it's the first time they're telling it? So now I ask you, is it the first time they tell it? How many times have they told the story? Many times, haven't they? In fact, they've told the story to everyone who will listen. They've rehearsed it and finessed it and fine-tuned it until it was perfect. They got the timing just right. They got the spaces and the silences perfect. They got the word play just right. And then they tell it like it's the first time they tell it. They're not so different to us, those storytellers. Because we are storytellers too. We tell our stories to people, don't we? We tell our story to everyone who will listen. Frankly, some of them are so sick and tired of your story, but you keep on telling the story. Some of them wish you would just stop already, but no, you need an audience and you tell the story. And you get the timing just right and the spaces just right. And the guilty are always named in your stories, aren't they? Or if we don't want to name the name, we pull them in there so subtly that they know exactly who we're talking about all the people who wronged us and all the woes we suffered that caused us to be where we are with our lives together today. Maybe you should remind yourself that your life is not where it is because of the stories that we have made up in our minds, but that your life is where it is because of the choices you made or the choices you failed to make. And that there are no neutral choices. You see, when you get to the T-junction of life, and you have to choose stay in the relationship or quit, or you have to choose quit my job or stay here, or you have to quit, support the company, the organizational transformation program, or don't support it, and you think that you're just going to rest here a little while and not pick. That's a choice. And it will have consequence. And it will determine the outcome of your life. You see, I think that we get to believe our stories. And I think that those stories impact on our lives. And if I were to challenge you, and if I were to say that I would get a CIS team, pick Las Vegas or New York, I don't know who you want. Just not the other guy, because he really irritates me. But I'll get a CSI team to come and investigate your story. You know those stories you have about your life being the way it is. Go, if you know what I'm talking about. Those stories. If I got a CSI team to come and check your story out, is it possible that somewhere in your story they would find a small inconsistency, a small flaw, a little bit of evidence that isn't really evidence, a little bit of the story that isn't 100% true? Anyone? Go, if I'm right. But you tell the story so often and with such conviction that you have come to believe the story yourself. I'm suggesting to you that if you change some of your stories, you can change some of your life. I'm suggesting to you that you must examine your stories to see whether they are true or not. And that you must take out the false bits. And that you must set aside the fake bits. And that you must stop telling some of them for effect. And that you must remain only with the truth of the stories and then ask yourself, so are you really just an innocent bystander? Or did you maybe play some role, some leading role, some Oscar-winning leading role in some of the stories that brought you to where you are? Go check out your stories.